evening, everybody. Welcome to NASR. I'm Billy DiNapoli on this Friday evening, December 19th, 2025. We're getting in the Christmas spirit here in the studio, and we hope everybody is excited for the holidays, all ready for Christmas, friends, family, food, and football. All right, well, first things first, the college football playoffs kick off tonight, boys and girls. Alabama, 8 o'clock at Oklahoma. The Sooners are a 1.5 point favorite. Oklahoma favored by 1.5 over Alabama. Of course, I know a lot of my Notre Dame fan followers will be watching closely as, you know, Bama plays tonight, Miami plays tomorrow, and I don't really think that their problem is with Miami. It's the problem with Bama getting in with 3 losses. And of course, they'll be looking closely at Tulane playing Ole Miss and James Madison playing Oregon. And I get it. And listen, the college football playoff will evolve. I feel like it will be 16 teams eventually. I feel like that eventually the Power 5 schools will not be involved the way they are now. Not to say that they won't be involved. I think what will eventually happen, and I'm going to say this. I have a friend, my buddy Mike Floros from Los Angeles, California. Some of you know him as the guitar player for Steel City. I know him as my good friend and a good sports fan, and he and I have gone back and forth on this, and obviously, you know, he gets that Notre Dame got beat head-to-head by Miami, and he knows that their schedule wasn't the toughest, but not always their fault when they agree to play a certain slate of ACC teams. If those ACC teams end up sucking that year, I mean, what are they going to do? Can't change it once it's started. But also, the fact that they were ranked ahead of Miami and Bama, that was the mistake the committee made. They probably should have been just behind Miami because you had them ranked that high, they win 10 games in a row, and then they get dropped out and without losing a game, which is unusual. I'm not saying that Bama doesn't deserve to be in. Even with 3 losses, they play a brutally tough schedule. At Georgia, that victory this year is probably the best victory on anybody's schedule. And they had a lot of good victories. And they also had some questionable losses to Florida State and also barely beating an Auburn team and the way they got beat up in the SEC championship game. So I get it. But here's where what me and Mike were discussing, and he made a great point. He said, obviously nobody wants to see James Madison and Tulane get their brains beat in. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Ole Miss is favored by 17.5 points, and Oregon is favored by 20.5 points. Almost 3 touchdowns tomorrow. And Tulane and James Madison, make no mistake about it, they are going to get their asses kicked. Okay? What they should do with these Power 5 teams, and normally there would only be one because your 5 best conference champions would usually include the ACC team. But of course, the Duke thing threw that all a whack this year. Because they weren't letting them in with 5 losses. Now, you should have the Tulane or the North Texas or the James Madison. It's usually one of those teams every year. Have them play a playing game. Have 12 play 13. Call it some bowl game. Have them play a playing game. And if you want 2 Power 5 teams, have them play. Have 11 play 14 and 12 play 13. They'll never win. Not if they're playing a Texas or a Notre Dame or a Vanderbilt. They'll never win. And if they do, now Cinderella's in the dance. So it's fair. And you won't have this again where a great team like Notre Dame has to be home watching Tulane and James Madison in the college football playoffs. Nothing's perfect, but this is something that's got to be fixed. And I believe it will be fixed. And boy, if anybody watches this show, that was a great idea, and kudos to Mike Floros, Los Angeles, California. He came up with that idea in a conversation we were having the other day, and I love it. It's a great idea. So I'm all for a playing game for the conference, for the Power 5 teams. No auto bids. 12 teams should go to 12 big programs with the resume. All right. Let's take a quick detour. We're going to get to some of our picks. Last we spoke, Monday Night Football, I gave you the Steelers over the Dolphins because you know the Dolphins never win in cold weather, and they were defeated 28-15 by the Steelers. Wasn't even that close. Aaron Rodgers threw for 2 TDs, but it was, listen, Miami hung around for about a half, and I did give you that one straight. That was a winner. Since then, Tua Tagovailoa has been benched, and the Dolphins will, sit players out and just try to tank their remaining 3 games for the draft pick. Steelers improved to 8-6. They are now on top of the AFC North, and they will be watching the Baltimore Ravens closely this week, who play the Patriots, but we'll get to that. So we gave you the Steelers. We won that one, and we came in. We finished the week 5-4 in the NFL. We were 4-4 on Sunday, and then we squeaked that one on Monday night. We started the NFL week last night where we gave you the Rams and the over in a teaser. And we posted on all our forums. If you follow, whenever we don't do a live show, we always post our picks on Instagram and Facebook and all our social media outlets. We gave you the Rams last night, so we started off with a win in the NFL this week, 1-0 so far, 5-4 last week, and we have improved our standing a little bit from 7 games under the mark to 5 games under. We are now 51, 56, and 1 in the NFL. 51, 56, and 1 in the NFL. We are 28 and 2 in college. We are going to go over the NFL because we have 2 NFL games on Saturday. 2 NFL games on Saturday. So we want to get to that. We got some really great games. Obviously, we're very excited here about the college football playoffs kicking off tomorrow. So, very excited. You guys know I bleed orange and green, the Miami Hurricanes. The Canes will travel to College Station tomorrow in front of 110,000 Maniacs. One of the toughest home field advantages in college football. The Texas A&M Aggies favored by 3.5. This line has fluctuated. It was 4, it was 3, now it's 3.5. The Canes will be healthy. They get Keontae Scott back at corner. David Blay back on the defensive line. Listen, the Canes, they're going to be in this game. This is a very evenly matched game. Very evenly matched game. For those that think that this is going to be some type of blowout, Texas A&M for an SEC football team somehow avoided playing Georgia and Bama this year. They had the softest schedule of any SEC team. I'm not saying they didn't have some quality wins, but I mean, they didn't really play a lot of great teams. And I'm here to tell you, the Canes are going to be their toughest opponent they've seen. I don't know how they dodged in their schedule this year. Georgia, Bama, didn't play Ole Miss. I'll actually give you Texas A&M's. Obviously, they did beat Notre Dame. Let me see here. We're going to pull this up and see if we can. I'm going to get you Texas A&M's schedule. Let's go over it right now. Let's go over the Aggies schedule. And we know the last time the Aggies played, they got manhandled by the Texas Longhorns. So I'm going to give you Texas A&M's schedule. All right, you ready? Here's Texas A&M. Their last game they lost to Texas 27-17. Okay, they blew out Sanford. They barely beat South Carolina at home 31-30, and they were losing. They were losing 30-3 in this game. Texas A&M defeated Missouri. That's a good win, 38-17 at Missouri. They defeated LSU. I know LSU is down this year, but they won at LSU. Tiger Stadium's a rough place to play, and they blew them out, 49-24. They barely beat Arkansas. Another questionable. It was at Arkansas. And Arkansas is an awful team. They only won 45-42. Again, they beat LSU at LSU. That was 49-25. That's a quality win. They beat Florida 34-17. Miami beat Florida 26-7. Again, they beat Auburn only 16-10. So look at their schedule. I mean, University of Texas San Antonio 42-24. Utah State they romped. Notre Dame they won by 1 point at Notre Dame. So at Notre Dame, at LSU, at Missouri. And Missouri and LSU on kind of down years. Not the greatest schedule. Somehow you're in the SEC and they did not play Georgia, Bama, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt. Oh, they played Texas and they lost. So I'm not saying A&M and Marcel Reed, they're talented quarterback. I'm not saying that they're not a quality team. I mean, they had 11 wins, but not a lot of big ones. Like I said, the LSU Missouri wins probably their best. Oh, the Notre Dame win. The Notre Dame win their best on the schedule, and that was early in the season. Second week, 41-40. And then at Missouri, at LSU. LSU had a rough year, only 7 wins. For them, that's a 7-4 is a rough year for LSU. Listen, they didn't play a lot of big-time teams. So I've been hearing from people saying that, the Canes are going to be shook. They're going to have trouble in that. Listen, I'm not saying 110,000 screaming College Station maniacs aren't going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But I think the Canes have a shot to win this game. I do. We're going to get to that. I'm going to give you some college picks. I am going to tease the Canes and Bama. I'm teasing the Canes and Bama. That makes Bama plus 7.5. Oklahoma. That makes Bama plus 7.5 at Oklahoma, and Miami will be plus 9.5. Miami plus 9.5. Bama plus 7.5. That's going to be one of my picks for college this week. This weekend. I am also teasing Ole Miss and Oregon. I am teasing Ole Miss from 17.5 to minus 11.5, and Oregon from 20.5 down to minus 14.5. Ole Miss, Oregon, teaser. So Ole Miss, Oregon teaser, and a Canes, Bama teaser. I actually think Oklahoma's going to win a close game. I think the Canes can win a game, but either way, it's going to be by a field goal. I think Oregon and Ole Miss are going to blow out Tulane and James Madison. I'm actually taking Oregon straight, and I'm laying the 20.5. So I'm taking Oregon straight. I'm taking Oregon and Ole Miss in a teaser, and I'm taking the Canes and Bama in a teaser. That is our big matchups for college football week 1. We're not addressing the meaningless bowl games. Now, I give credit to the universities that are playing them. I'm not trying to demean the Boca Raton Bowl, which will include, Toledo and Louisville. I really do think it's necessary for a university to finish the season. These kids, a lot of them are playing their last football game of their lives. They won't all go to the pros. They want to finish the season out with their brothers. and they want to go out strong. And also winning a bowl game is good for the program. It's more money. Maybe not always significant depending on what bowl game you go to, but it's always good to add another win to your postseason record. I do believe it's good for the program to see the season through and play the bowl game. One thing they do need to do, though, they need to adjust the transfer portal and the NIL to after the national championship has been played. Players should not be opting out of these games. Listen, I can understand, and I hate this. I'm just going to tell you I hate it. I can understand if you're going to be a top first-round pick in the draft and you don't want to risk an injury, in the New Orleans Bowl or the Boca Raton Bowl or the Hawaii Bowl, which will feature California and Hawaii, by the way. I understand that. But nobody should be able to transfer. The ones that aren't going pro, they should not be able to transfer through the portal to another school while the season is still going on. They should not be able to do that and opt out of bowl games. That's one thing they got to fix. If they don't fix that, then just get rid of the damn bowl games completely and, have a freaking 16-team playoff and that's it. That's not fair to teams like, Temple and Coastal Carolina. These programs, they need bowl games to aspire to. It's still tradition. Those teams are never going to get in. They're not going to have the NIL money to get into a playoff most likely, so what would they be playing for? So you can't get rid of the bowl games. Can't happen. Keep the playoff. You're going to keep the other bowl games as well. What you need to do is you need to adjust the transfer portal. Kids cannot transfer or switch schools until after the national championship has been played, the final game of the season. Then do what you want. And I do believe that these tweaks will happen. I do believe they will happen. Okay. That covers college. We gave you Oregon. We gave you Ole Miss and Oregon in a teaser. We gave you Canes, Bama in a teaser. That's what we're rolling with. Those are our 3 picks. We are 30, 28, and 2 in college football this season, hoping to finish with a winning record as we have now. And we're 5 games under 500 in the NFL. We're going to try to chase that down. Let's take a look at what's going on in the NFL. We do have a busy Friday and Saturday before we even get to Sunday. We will not be doing a college football Saturday show tomorrow morning because we're doing it now, and because the college football playoff starts tonight at 8 o'clock with Alabama and Oklahoma. We're not doing one tomorrow because what's the point? We're going to do all that now. I will tell you, if the Canes do win tomorrow, you will see me on afterwards with a very jolly, probably half-drunken postgame. I will come on if the Canes win and do a postgame and celebrate with the Canes fam. I know a lot of you guys will be in Weston, Florida at the Weston Ale House for the Canes watch party with my buddy JD Boss. You guys have seen him in the end zone at all the Miami games with the hard hat and the big 305 necklace. One of the best Cane fans out there. JD will also be hosting a Canes watch party tomorrow at noon in Weston, Florida, Carolina Ale House. Let me just double check that for you guys. Double check that. I'll tell you what, we're about to, we got a big storm happening here in New England. The Weston Ale House playoff watch party in Weston, Florida. It's called the Carolina Ale House on 2618 Weston Road in Weston, Florida. That's South Florida. I think that's near like Pompano. All my South Florida friends will be down there having a good time, watching the game with all the big Canes fans. It's sure to be a great time. Yeah, so anyway, if you are in South Florida and you're in the Pompano, Lauderdale, Miami area, head down to the Carolina Ale House, also called the Carolina Weston Ale House at 2618 Weston Road in Weston, Florida. My buddies wanted me to give that shout out, and we did. We'll be rooting with all our Canes family. I'll be here watching the game in headquarters with my family, and we'll be very excited. Okay, let's switch to the NFL. Tomorrow, let's check here. I gotta get these game times. That can't be right. 5 o'clock. All right, 4:30 p.m. tomorrow, Eagles, Commanders. The Philadelphia Eagles are a 7-point choice at Washington. The Green Bay Packers with no Micah Parsons. They also lost Golden at wide receiver. Jacobs is banged up at running back. They will travel to Chicago, where the Bears could get one step closer to clinching the NFC North. The Bears are a 1.5-point favorite. 1.5-point favorite as they host the Pack. That is tomorrow night. That one's at 8:20 kickoff. 8:20 kickoff. So you got a 4:30 Eagles Commanders. Eagles -7. And you have the Pack at the Bears. The Bears -1.5. I'm taking Chicago straight -1.5 in this game. I'll give you more NFL picks on Sunday morning. We will be on Sunday morning. Again, we will not be on Saturday morning. Please, again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, North American Sports Report. You can scan the QR code as you see there on the bottom, and scan the QR code. You can also donate Venmo, Cash App to the program. We appreciate it. Also, please like North American Sports Report on Facebook, and also follow Billy DiNapoli on Facebook and Instagram. I do a lot of content on Instagram and Facebook on my personal page. Obviously, we stream live from the Billy DiNapoli Facebook page. So please follow Billy DiNapoli and North American Sports Report on Facebook. Also, the big one, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are trying to swing you guys over. You've been great watching on Facebook Live all year since we started this, our first year in September. I mean, we've had as many as 3,000 viewers. Last Saturday we had 1,500 viewers. You guys have usually averaged between 500 and 1,500 viewers on Facebook. We really do appreciate it. We want to get more of you guys onto the YouTube channel. Again, we are streaming live on all sites simultaneously. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, North American Sports Report. So far our first pick, we're taking the Bears -1.5. We'll get to the rest of the NFL Sunday morning. We gave you our college, Ole Miss, Oregon in a teaser, Oregon straight, and Canes and Bama in a teaser. Now, tomorrow night, you'll have, you know what, I'm getting conflicting reports on the start of this Chicago Bears game. Is it 4:30 or is it 5 o'clock? Let's find out here. No, I'm sorry, not that. Chicago is 8:20 kickoff. Bears hosting the Pack. That's 8:20. I meant to say the Eagles. I'm getting conflicting reports. One says 4:30, one says 5 o'clock. Which is it? 5 p.m. kickoff. So the Eagles at the Commanders, 5 p.m. Jalen Carter, the big-time D lineman and tackle, will be out for the Eagles in that game. Obviously, it's Marcus Mariota the rest of the way for the Commanders at quarterback. The Eagles at 9-5, looking to wrap up the division. I gotta say, one thing we gotta touch on. So that'll wrap it up. So your viewing for tomorrow is you've got 2 NFL games, 1 at 5, Eagles Commanders, and 1 at 8:20, Pack Bears, which is a huge game. Okay? So you've got those 2 games, but at the same time, you'll have already watched, obviously tonight, Bama, Oklahoma, but tomorrow you'll have the Canes on at noon playing Texas A&M, and then you'll have Tulane, Ole Miss on at 3:30, and James Madison, Oregon on at 7:30. So if you got a multi-TV sportsplex like I do in my headquarters, You'd have the two college, after the Miami game, you'll have the Tulane Ole Miss game, the James Madison Oregon game, and then you'll have the Eagles Commanders game on until the Packer Bear game starts. So you got 4 football games that will be on, and they'll be overlapping each other. At least 3 of them will. But they're going to be on all day tomorrow. So you got a big football day tomorrow, Saturday. We'll go over all the Sunday stuff. On Sunday morning, we'll be on our usual time, 9:30. We've been coming on 9:30 usually, so we'll keep it at 9:30. We're going to come on 9:30. Actually, that's incorrect. I'm sorry. Lately, our start times have been later. We've last 2 weeks we came on 11:30. I always post before and give you guys a heads up. We did 11:30 a.m. our 2 NFL shows the last 2 weeks. If we come on earlier, we will post 90 minutes before the show, so you guys know exactly when. But look for 11:30 a.m. Sunday morning. Yeah, I'm sorry. The last 2 weeks we did 11:30 a.m. We had been coming on early for a few weeks there, but our college football show on Saturday is usually at 9:30 in the morning, even earlier, sometimes 9 a.m. Our NFL show is always 11:30 a.m. on Sunday. So we're going to stick to that. We're going to keep it on 11:30. So that's when we'll see you next, 11:30 a.m. I want to go over one thing that happened last night. If you saw it, I'm sure you did if you're a football fan and watching this show, the Seattle Seahawks defeated the Los Angeles Rams 38-37 in overtime. This is one of the craziest games I've seen. I'm going to say this. We're watching this game, and as I'm watching this game, I'll be honest, I'm shitting on Sam Darnold. There goes Sam Darnold. And you guys know that last week I was just saying how I'm not sold on Sam Darnold. I think when push comes to shove, he's going to be what sinks them. Okay? He's going to be what sinks them. So, and listen, Sam's been great in the regular season, but last year, the biggest game at the end of the year when they needed to play for the top seed, they lost, and then they shit the bed in the playoffs. I've been saying I keep waiting for that Sam Darnold to show up, okay? And sure enough, he throws 2 picks last night, bad ones. One's returned back to the 1-yard line, which leads to a touchdown on the next play. As they ran the ball in, Corum scores a touchdown, and him and Corum and Williams were running, and Stafford was throwing, and Nakua was, Puka Nakua had 12 catches for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns. 12 catches, 225, and 2 touchdowns. Matthew Stafford was amazing. 29 of 49, 457 yards, 3 touchdowns. They collected 3 turnovers and did not turn the ball over once. Any team that has done that in past history was 79-0. Make that 79-1. Because what happened was surreal. We're killing Sam Darnold. Me and my buddy were watching the game. It's 30-14. We're like, we can just about turn this off. I go up to my room. I flip the game on. And I'm lying in bed. And there goes Raheem Shaheed returns a punt for a touchdown. Just like that. Now the Rams got the ball 30-14. They get a stop. They get the ball. It was a pick at the goal line. Another terrible pick by Sam Darnold. And you're thinking it's over. It's 4th quarter. There's 10 minutes to go. It's 30-14. The Rams get conservative. They go 3 and out, and they pump the ball back. And with about 8 minutes and 13 seconds, I believe it's set on the clock, Shaheed returns that punt for a touchdown, and then everything changes. Sam completes a nice throw on the 2-point conversion, and all of a sudden, it's 30-22. What happened? You're like, okay. Rams get the ball back. They drive it a little, but they can't get points. And Darnold gets the ball, zip, throws it. All of a sudden, Jackson Smith and Jigbo, who had been quiet most of the game. It was the Puka Nakua show. He comes alive. He did end up with 8 catches for 96 yards and the game-winning touchdown, and he did most of that in the fourth quarter. Let me tell you, he had, I think, 1 catch for 12 yards in the first half. He did everything in the fourth quarter. He comes alive. They go down the field. Darnold throws a touchdown to the tight end. I forget who caught it, but he throws a touchdown. Now it's 30-28. But it wasn't a receiver. He throws a touchdown pass to a tight end in the right corner of the end zone. It's 30-28. And then the craziest thing I've ever seen. They go for 2. Darnold gets the ball and immediately fires a sideline pass, which is incomplete. It looked like a wide receiver screen. I think it was actually intended for the halfback. It glances off a helmet, goes to the ground, rolls into the end zone. Charbonneau, the running back, he picks the ball up, he hands it to the ref. Okay, no good. They're lining up for the kickoff. All of a sudden, on TV, everything stops. Wait a second, they're looking at something. What are they looking at? They're looking at Darnold's pass actually being slightly a lateral, therefore a fumble. And as the ball rolled forward into the end zone when everybody was just standing around, Charbonneau walked into the end zone and picked up the ball and then handed it to the ref. But he picked up the ball in the end zone. He didn't think it was a live ball. Nobody thought it was a live ball. They give them a 2-point conversion on this play for a fumble recovery in the end zone. I have never seen anything like it. The Seahawks sideline didn't ask for a review. They literally stopped play as they were kicking the ball off, took the special teams units off the field, reviewed this, and gave Seattle the 2-point conversion. Now, I thought the ball was an even sideline pass. It might have been an ass hair behind, which would have made it a lateral, but it's got to be borderline it's got to be more than borderline to overturn it. It's got to be inconclusive. I didn't think this was a play that should have been a good 2-point conversion. A really bad break for the Rams because it was a turning point. The Rams had a touchdown earlier in the game, a touchdown on a 4th down to their tight end that was nullified by a penalty. And you're at the 3-yard line. How can you have an illegal blocker downfield, a lineman downfield? It was a terrible, terrible call, and it erased a touchdown off the board. It was a touchdown pass to Parkinson, the tight end, and it erased a touchdown off the board for them. And when they replayed it, they even said, you know what, there's no way that should have been there's no way that this should have been overturned. That's not an illegal man downfield. They even said it. The broadcast even said it was a bad call. So they got that call, and then this bad 2-point call. The flags were definitely not flying in the favor of the Rams last night, and those were 2 huge calls. The touchdown on 4th down early in the game would have made it 10-7. The Rams had to settle for a field goal to go up 6, to be down only 1, 7-6. Now, of course, they would end up taking the lead 13-7, and ultimately, they were 30-14. But right there was a turning point in that game. You take that touchdown away, it would have been 10-7 early instead of 7-6. And then the 2-point conversion play, I've never seen anything like it. But that was the call, ended up being a fumble recovery in the end zone for a 2-point conversion. Parkinson also had a bad drop late in that game, and then Revis, the kicker for the Rams, missed a 48-yarder, which could have put them up 33-30 with very little time left in the game. So then it goes to overtime. The Rams, Puka Nakua, long ball from Stafford. It was a long one. It was a dart down the center of the seam. He breaks the tackle. He goes like 45 yards, 50 yards, something like that for a touchdown, 37-30. I think it was a 45-yard play. And you're like, okay, 37-30, Seahawks got the possession. Get a stop. That's all the Rams got to do is get a stop and they win the game. Darnold drives them right down the field. Right down the field. Let's look at Sam's numbers. Sam started off, he had thrown for 2 picks, no touchdowns, but he finished with 22 of 34 for 270, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks, but also had a big 2 huge 2-point conversion passes. Well, it's like Sam threw 4 freaking touchdowns in the second half. He threw 2 touchdowns and he completed 2 2-point conversion passes. Overall, the Seahawks completed 3 2-pointers. The fumble recovered for 1, and then Sam completed 2 of them. 1 to draw them from 30 to 22 after Shaheed's punt return, and the other one he drilled to the tight end. Who was it that caught it? Who was it that caught Sam's? Barner caught the touchdown. Okay, Barner caught the touchdown, the tight end, to what would have tied the game. But the Seahawks opted to go for the win and go for 2. Mind you, the reason why they went for 2 was because a tie would do the Seahawks no good. They've already lost to the Rams. So if these guys finish 11-4-1, the Rams are still a game and a half ahead. The tie wouldn't do them any good. They needed the win. It's why they went for it. And so Darnold, sure enough, it was like his 3rd read. He goes back to pass, he's looking, and he throws it complete, check down, just inside the end zone to his tight end for the 2-pointer. And that's how they win on that last play of the game, 38-37, in a miraculous comeback. You know what? Sam, again, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, but also those 2 huge 2-point conversion completions. Ken Walker had 11 carries for 100 yards. He had a 55-yarder to keep the Seahawks even in the game in the first half when the passing game was doing nothing. 11 carries for 100 yards and a touchdown for Kenneth Walker. Charbonneau added 32 yards on 9 carries. Shaheed, 1 big 31-yard carry that set up Sam's that set up the touchdown that Shaheed set up the touchdown that tied the game with a 31-yard scamper. Shaheed also with the big punt return for a touchdown. And Jigba was 8 for 96. Walker also caught 3 balls for 64. Barner, the tight end, 4 for 49 and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp, 3 for 39. He had a big 3rd down conversion catch in there too. Let's see here. What was the guy's name who caught that game-winning 2-point conversion? I gotta find him. Because he deserves some love. God, I should have brought my readers. Number 81. Let's find him because you know what? He deserves the shout out. They said that he had hardly caught any passes all year. Eric Saubert, tight end from Drake, of all places. 6'5". He catches the game-winning. Eric Saubert catches the game-winning 2-point conversion as the Seahawks complete the miraculous 38-37 come from behind. And good for you, Sam Darnold. You won a big game in a big spot in prime time. Something people said you couldn't do, including this idiot right here. And you did it. So the Seahawks now are the number 1 seed in the NFC and control their own destiny. This is a huge loss for the Rams. The Rams played way better indoors on that fast track than if they got to go to, say, Chicago or Philly or you know, even back to Seattle. You know, listen, I don't think the Rams can't win in that situation. I still think the Rams, talent-wise, were the best team in the NFC. The problem with the Rams, as we've discovered, is their secondary is not good. I mean, the way that the Seahawks were able to come back in the second half, the secondary, they just couldn't get stops when they needed them. The interceptions, they were just terrible throws by Sam. They just couldn't get the stops. They had time and time again. They could not get stops. And the secondary kind of has been the albatross for the Rams this year. You don't notice it as much as because their front seven is so nasty. When you have a pass rush like that, it solves a lot of problems and it makes your secondary look a lot better. But the Rams are weak on the back end. That's their weakness. I felt terrible for Nakua at the great running game last night, great passing game, 457 yards by Stafford, 225 yards for Nakua. They did that all without Devontae Adams, who was out injured, and it all goes to waste. All goes to waste. So that is that. All right, so we'll be back 11:30 in the morning, Sunday. We're not going to be on tomorrow. We'll be back 11:30 in the morning, Sunday, with our NFL show. I don't know, I had a brain aneurysm a little earlier. My Sunday show is always 11:30. It's never 9:30. The Saturday morning show is always at either 9 a.m. or 9:30, and we're always on at 11:30 on Sunday mornings for NFL. And then we're on Monday nights at 6:30 all the time. And we do special pop-up shows, which we post about for special games like tonight's college football playoffs starting tonight. Again, we were able to give out all the college games. We gave you our 3 picks, so we don't have to come on tomorrow morning. We will come on if the Hurricanes win. I promise my Canes fam, we will come on for a post game if the Canes win. If they don't, listen, I'll still be proud of them making it. Who knows? Maybe I will come on. I don't know. I'll post about it, but I'll probably be crying in my beer. I'll probably be licking my wounds. But listen, for Miami, you want to play a great game tomorrow. You want to be in the game. You want to have a chance to win. You're just as good as Texas A&M. You're a top 10 programming in recruiting, in NIL money. The Canes are going nowhere. They're going to be a top 10 program from here on out. They have the big NIL money and boosters behind them. They recruit great, and winning 10 games in back-to-back seasons have drawn the allure back to South Florida. Players don't want to go play at Florida and Florida State. They want to go, if they're going to the state of Florida, they want to go play for the Canes. And Mario has done that. Win or lose tomorrow, getting into the college football playoffs has blew up recruiting for Miami even better than it already was going, and it was going good. Because they're a national championship contender. This was the progression. Remember, 4 years ago, this team won 5 games. They were shit. They won 5 games 4 years ago when Mario got here. 5 games 4 years ago. They were shit. Guys like Messidor and Ruben Bain, who hung in there, they're reaping the benefits of this now. They're going to be first-round draft picks in the NFL, playing on defensive lines near you in the NFL on Sundays next year. And the Canes just getting into the college football playoff. This year, that was the goal. You had to get into the playoff. You had to either win an ACC title or get into the playoff. They achieved the majority. They got the main point across. That was a goal that had to be achieved, or Mario was going to be on the hot seat. This was the year. First year, you knew you were going to suck. Second year, you went from 5 wins to 7 wins. Progress. Last year, 10-win team. Best offense in the country, but your defense still wasn't there. You suffered some injuries in the first couple of weeks. You were very thin with depth. You still hadn't finished all your recruiting and your NIL to fortify the defense. So you had an awful defense last year. You probably didn't deserve to be in the playoff, but you still won 10 games. So the progression, 5 wins, 7 wins, 10 wins, 10 wins again. You won 20 games now. The Canes are currently 20 out of their last 25 in the last 2 years. You won 20 out of 25 games. It's brought the program back. Now you're in the college football playoffs. I said it was AC title and college football or bust this year. College football playoffs or bust. If you didn't get either of those, it would have been, a huge disappointment. Well, that part of the mission was at least accomplished. You're in the college football playoffs. Play a great game tomorrow, prove like you belong, and even if you come out on the short end, you can't get blown out. You deserve to be there. The only thing I worry about with the Hurricanes, Mario's done a great job with recruiting. I believe he's a good practice coach. He's not a great in-game coach. And sometimes when the Canes start shooting themselves in the foot with penalties, they're sometimes their worst enemy. That's lack of discipline, and that is that falls on your head coach. I'm not saying Mario isn't a great recruiter, and I'm not saying he's not great at getting these guys prepared. Sometimes they're disciplined, and his in-game coaching decisions, him and offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson, that is the only reason why I'm not 100% confident. Because talent-wise, the Canes can beat this team. I'm completely confident in that. The thing that makes you worry about the Canes is Mario in a big game. You know, he hasn't proved that he can win the big games yet. He's gotten you there, though. So, you know, give him credit for that. Give him credit for that. So, it's been a big year for the University of Miami football program. And we're proud of them here. We're going to be rooting them on tomorrow. We're going to take a quick look at the NHL tonight before we go. Oh, also, congratulations to the New York Knicks for winning the NBA Cup that no one gives a shit about. Congratulations. Beating the Spurs in that game and coming from behind to do it. The Knicks were down by 11 in the fourth quarter, and they did come from behind to win the game. But, you know, listen, I give the Knicks credit. They didn't do what the Lakers did and raised a freaking banner for winning an in-season tournament. They didn't raise a banner. They threw a little party that night, and that's the end of it. Because at the end of the day, it's just bullshit. I'm going to tell you something. I'm looking at the NBA scores last night. One of the reasons why I haven't really, thus far until football ends, focused on the NBA a lot on this program. The reason that is, I have a hard time taking the way this game is played now. A game that I grew to love with Jordan and Magic and Kareem and Larry Bird and the bully Pistons and Knicks of the late 80s and 90s. That was basketball. That was half-court sets, bumping and grinding, playing defense. I'm looking at the NBA scores the other night. I'm looking at them 149, 135, 124, 119, 133, 117. I'm like, where is the defense? I mean, where is the defense? I mean, if you're Las Vegas, you got to start setting those overs higher. I mean, there's no defense. It's like run and gun city. That's hard to watch. I'm sorry. We will focus on the NBA more as the football dissipates. Tonight we got the Canucks at the Islanders. These games are already underway. They started 20 minutes ago. Canucks are up 1-0 at UBS on the Islanders. The Florida Panthers, who have played very well of late, 6-1-1 in their last 8 games, as they're starting to get, well, you'll have Matthew Tkachuk back in 2 weeks, so the Canes are starting to get a little healthier. The Panthers. The Panthers are playing the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. This is a big game. Obviously, the Panthers have owned the Canes in the playoffs the last 3 years in a row. It is 1-0 Hurricanes early in the first period in Sunrise. 1-0 Canes over the Panthers at the moment. 9 o'clock, Devils at the Mammoth. 9 o'clock, the struggling Winnipeg Jets at the number 1 record in hockey, Colorado Avalanche at Colorado, 9 o'clock. And the Red Hot Dallas Stars at the Anaheim Ducks. And that is at 10 o'clock. Anaheim has been impressive, their young team this year. With rookie Seneca, second-year kid Carlson. They got some big-time young forwards that have been getting the job done. Seneca will challenge Matthew Schaefer for Rookie of the Year. The Ducks are a good young team. Got former Rangers Chris Kreider and Jacob Trouba on there as well. That's it for tonight. You guys have a great night. Big game coming up in a half hour. We've got Alabama at Oklahoma. It's going to be a war, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. I can't wait to watch tonight's game. Obviously, we're super excited about the Canes tomorrow, traveling to Texas A&M to play the Aggies at noon. And we'll see if the Canes win. I'll probably be feeling a little happy after a few celebratory cocktails, so I'll probably come on. Maybe if I could dry my tears, I might come on anyway after the game, but I don't know. You'll definitely see me Sunday morning at 11:30, for sure. Till then, I am out of here. You guys have been great. My name is Billy DiNapoli. This is the North American Sports Report. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please Follow Billy DiNapoli on Instagram and Facebook and X. And please follow the North American Sports Report on Facebook. But again, get to that YouTube channel and subscribe. You guys have been great. And till we meet again, Sunday morning, 11:30. Have a great night, guys.